It does bother me that a lot of African American men prefer Hispanic women over black women.
I mean, I knew what I was doing, but it took, a large majority of Twitter to join in. I think that's what Puff realized, that even though he had 1 million followers, there was also an equal amount of people that just kind of was not feeling his presence on the website.
In our generation, there's been a rise in African American women, and because of this rise, I think it puts African American men in an uncomfortable place.
Well, the saying goes, like, it's always a strong black woman behind a strong black man, but now it seems like it's a strong black woman behind these so-called strong white men in corporate society, and it's like, they just handling their business. They taking care of everything right now.
When it comes to men on the dating scene, the objective is sex. So if you're using these items to get sex, then it's tricking. For women, dating a guy, the objective is not to get, that's not the goal really. It's more for companionship.
It ain't tricking if you got it, but it's trying to trick the trick.
Oh,
that's
really?
what I'm about. Yeah, you gotta trick the trick.
What's going on, everybody? This is Off Topic, and the topic that we're on today is This is Off Topic, where the topic is today, what's ever on our dome piece. We're gonna freestyle this whole show right now. So my first topic I want to talk about, let's talk about Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Off Topic once again, and today's topic that we're on is chivalry. Is it dead, or are traditional gender roles still in place? Let's get into it.
Chivalry is definitely dead.
You're a liar.
It's definitely dead. I mean, I definitely think it's guys out there that still, open doors, pay for meals and things like that. But we've reached a generation or a time where people are talking about let's go Dutch, where the male and the female are paying at dinner, and you got to be lucky if a man opens the door as you walk through it. Like, I definitely think things have changed.
Well, the way society is set up right now, with the economy doing bad, you can't have those traditional gender roles anymore. Like, the men just can't work and the women stay home, because nowadays you need two incomes to support a household. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that it's dead. It's like, it's almost like, it's not possible.
But does it have to take away from everyday things? It's one thing where both man and woman have to go to work, but it's another thing when you ask a woman on a date, and instead of a male kind of being that the courter, it's kind of like you're courting each other. Like, like, it's just the woman could be in charge, the man could be in charge, but back in the day it was the male who courted the woman.
As far as like paying for like dates and stuff like that, I have no problem with it, but dudes like to be on the receiving end of that sometimes. You don't gotta do it like you do it, I do it, you do it, but like, you know what I mean? Maybe once every 3 or 4 times I could go in and be nice.
And ladies, let me make this unequivocally clear, that if a man is taking you out on a date and you offer to pay, 9 times out of 10, he probably going to say, put your card away. It's just the thought and the gesture of you guys doing it, and it touch on something you just said, and guys, I want you to answer this, because I know I have a lot of female friends, and I know they eat for free just about every night of the week, because they got another brother taking them out, asking them on a date, and the brothers are the ones putting out the money, and, the girls are getting free meals.
I don't think the same as she said it was dead. I don't think chivalry is dead. I think it's inconsistent. And that's things in everyday life though. She put emphasis on like opening doors. Like, it doesn't matter like wherever I'm at. I could have like a wife at home, but if I'm and I'm going into a building and I'm gonna open the door for like the woman that's coming through. If I know that if I see that the women coming behind me through a door, I'm gonna hold the door for them to come through as well. So things like that you shouldn't even really put emphasis on. That's just that's just who that person is, period. Whether they're courting you or not. But with chivalry, I think it's inconsistent. It's not dead though. So there's still things that go on. I think every male has it in them. It's just that's part of this. That sounds like the economy that takes it has an effect on it, and it's just there's other things that go on in society too as well. Sometimes I mean, that's just like the attitudes of people. Sometimes
So-
they feel like they should be on the receiving end too, but it's not that.
So Chris and Chalk made a valid point. The economy sucks right now, and it's affected dating and the way people deal with each other. But I've noticed that a lot of females don't really care about that. They still want things to be the way they are, and they're not willing to make a budge. And you speak of inconsistency. Ladies, touch on that subject as well. Do you feel women are, still want traditionalism in a time where traditionalism is hard?
I think, I don't think it's necessarily, I don't know if y'all agree with me, it's not necessarily you taking me to a fancy restaurant and spending like buku money on me, and that's what I mean by you taking on that traditional role. It's just you taking that control and that lead. If we're dating or you want to ask me out, you can suggest let's go to a walk on the park. I mean, let's go for a walk in the park. Maybe you made a picnic or whatever. It might sound, gay or whatever, but there's guys that just do nice things for you, and it doesn't have to necessarily be the amount of money you spend. So I'm looking for it's hard times. So how creative can you get?
I think that. I'm sorry. I think, in the times of recession, it does make dating a little more difficult. And, I think it's okay for guys to be more creative. It's not all about money. It's not all about, like what Brandy was saying. But at the same time, chivalry is defined as courtesy towards women. So it's not just about
money,
money. Courtesy.
That's what we talked about earlier.
And from my experience on the dating scene, I don't see many men who continue to open the doors, who, come upstairs to pick me up on a date and, shake my mother's hand or say hello to my mother, who are pulling out doors and opening up the car door for me to get in. And I must say, like this morning, I came downstairs and I got picked up from someone whose name I won't say, and I expected him to help me with my bag, and that didn't happen this morning. So I was a little like, wow, I'm lugging this heavy bag. And, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to bring that up later today, because it's just a prime example of how men no longer take these small things into consideration.
You take it for granted. It's like, oh, we don't have to do those
But
things
it
anymore.
says a lot about you, like, and what I hate when men, okay, like our first date, I was dating a guy the first time that we went out. I actually came to meet him, but when I came to meet him, then we got into his car. But he opened the door for me at the restaurant every time he pulled my chair out. But like a week in, like next time we went out, it was just like, all right, that was the first date. Like I got to back for the second date.
This is your best. You set that in your mind, like, yo, let me just be on best behavior. Just
Right, but the thing is why not keep it up? Why not make that let that be who you
that's
are?
Who you are. I mean,
Like-
that's me. So that's common courtesy, but sometimes.
Men see pregnant women standing and won't offer them their
Nah, that's not true. That's
No,
not
plenty.
true.
There are plenty.
It might not be all, but there's plenty of guys like that nowadays.
That's funny because I take the train to work every day, and it's like New Yorkers and men in general, we always get this reputation of being so rude, but I always see people offer their seats all the time.
I'm glad you said it about New Yorkers. 'Cause me being from New York, when I moved to Atlanta, it's like a whole different world. Like we got a term down there in Atlanta that we call professional daters, and it's women who like that's what they do for a living. Like they go on dates for a living. So it's like it's hard to like have the common courtesy towards her when this is her job. She's gonna get a meal every day by a guy, no matter what.
Now, do you guys think that chivalry is dead?
Well, I think chivalry is not dead as long as the guy is willing to keep it alive. So there are some guys that are willing to keep it alive, and some guys that aren't.
As a Christian woman, like I said, I don't think chivalry is dead, because the brothers that belong to my church, them asking you on a date isn't necessarily because I want to sleep with you tonight. Them asking you on a date really is a way to encourage you. They do open the doors, they do pull out seats.
I agree with you. That's the only time I agree with you.
I've definitely been on trains when I've seen young men get up to give pregnant women or elderly people, seats. So I do think that chivalry is not dead. I just think it's not as prominent as it used to be.
I always open doors for her and open the car door, go run around the other side to open up her car door, make sure she's in.
He's the only like 1 million, so nobody left like that.
There are some women who feel like, I need to pull out my own chair, I need to open my own door. Well, that's them, but that's not every woman. And just like it's not every man that's not chivalrous, it's not every woman that says, oh, you know what, I can do it by myself. Because I think we need each other.
Actually, I think that's his nature. nature. I feel like it's your nature. For some reason, your generation still have that. I don't know about your generation.
But this is respect. It's not about whatever she does. We're in no position to judge what she does. But if she's a woman, I feel like you treat a woman like a lady. You treat a woman like a lady under any circumstances.
It's different, but it's different. No, but it's different.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on, but I think you want to define the difference between common courtesy and you going to trick on somebody, and that's what we're saying is the difference. It's one thing you should always, when a lady comes into a room, offer your seat. These are things that are natural, regardless of what type of woman she is. It's a standard that you should just be used to. Now, tricking on somebody is different.
So you have to go for that. And what you also fellas need to keep in mind is that if you have a child, son or daughter, the way you carry yourself is what your child is gonna pattern. You need to show your daughter what she deserves. You need to, even if you're just with your daughter's mother, and you guys have been together for years, still open the door for her, because your daughter needs to understand that when the man takes her out, this is how he needs to treat her.
Exactly.
I understand that.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying, but Kenya, to a point when you said it should be a standard, women, regardless of, women should be treated a certain way, and I agree, going to your point, Leah, that women should be treated a certain way and you should open doors and extend yourself. But if a woman wears, or acts a certain way and does a certain thing, and this is the way she's presenting herself to be treated, she will be treated that way. It's just to say, well, I have on this hoochie outfit, but I'm not a hoochie. Okay, so you see a guy wearing a police officer's uniform, and you go up to him and ask him for help, but like, oh, I'm not a police officer, I just got the uniform on. You are what you project yourself to be.
I totally agree with you, but I had, my ex-boyfriend used to say, I treat him how I meet him, and I'm totally against that. In order to get respect, you have to give respect. Now, when I look at a young lady who's dressed provocatively, I look at her as she's maybe insecure, she's, searching for attention. Who am I to show her less respect because she doesn't respect herself? And the same goes for men. You see a young woman who you feel like is disrespecting herself, show her something different, because
show her how she should be treated.
Disrespecting her, show her that she deserves and she is worthy of the same respect that you would want your daughter or your mother or your sister to have.
But on the flip side, ladies, have you ever been around a guy who was just so extra nice and extra courteous, and then you was like,
what the hell does he want from me?
Right.
Yes.
And it's that's the sad part, because I actually went on a double date, and it was the girl that I went out with, her and her boyfriend wanted me to meet one of his friends, but her boyfriend was somebody that's trying to get in the field that the guy is in, that he was introducing me to. I felt like he, had on the bow tie with the blazer, and we were talking about politics, and at the time he was saying why he felt like Obama wasn't qualified, but he was doing all the extra stuff, opening the door, but everything he did, I felt like he was just so extra, and it was annoying me.
To it.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
He took the napkin out and he put it on his girlfriend's lap, then he did mine, and I just was
all right.
Right. I just felt like he was doing just a bit much, and my father is, definitely one who's gonna do that, who's gonna open the door, and but I just felt like he was very, very extra.
See, but this is the double-edged sword that men have to live with to the day we die. If we do it and it's considered too much, but in our eyes, how we were raised, this is how it was supposed to be done. This is what our dad did for our mother, as the point you brought up before, but in essence, when we do it, it's a bit much. So where do we draw the line?
I think that you need to do what you were raised to do and what you think is appropriate, and you will attract the woman that rises up to the standard that you set out. So when you say, oh, am I doing too much? Am I not supposed to be nice? Am I not supposed to do this? You are therefore saying, let me lower my standards and then attract that woman that is used to not being treated right. But you want to rise and then meet that woman that's used to that great respect.
These expectations, we're demanding too much from black men.
But the thing is, she went on this date, yet she is not the woman I'm sure that a brother's lowering his standards to. She's a good woman.
Dude, I wasn't on the date with you. Your girlfriend is here.
It was his girlfriend.
All that, but she's here. That was a girl's boyfriend. I just felt like it was too much.
Oh, he was doing that to you?
He was doing it to me. He was opening her chair, opening mine. Your friend, you're introducing me to your friend. Let me see what type of man he is.
Misunderstood.
He was crossing over just a bit much.
No, that's not. You don't like it when they OD.
Let the guy that's here with me OD right now.
But the point is, it don't matter because Leah wasn't on a date with him, so.
And you know what?
But the point is, she wasn't
attracted to him. You know what? He would like it would never work. Like he was not.
Yeah, they weren't on a date, so it don't matter how she perceived them. He still did what he thought was the right way.
Cool.
But I mean the basic things. Y'all can open doors. If you see somebody with her bags, help her out. You know, pull out a chair.
So you think that goes down? Like I see that every day. It does go down.
Okay, so put your blazer over the puddle of water.
But you know,
that's extreme. That's a stereotype. That's urban legend.
Women are also at fault. I must say, there are plenty of women, you know, with the women's liberation movement and burning the bras, who are not receptive of a man who does these things. Okay? And she's become really independent, and I don't need a man to pay the check. I got it. Or, you know, I don't need a man to pull up my chair. These women are, you know, are out there. But I think that that's foolish. I want a man to be somewhat assertive and be a man, and I want to be treated like a lady at all costs. So.
I understand that, but like me personally, I think females are, I mean, y'all gonna probably hate that I say this, but y'all too stuck in the traditional ways when like
why do we need
every
to
year.
What's wrong with tradition?
To me personally, when women start fighting to wear hard hats, that's when y'all gotta understand. Like me personally, I want a girl to get down on her knee and give me a ring. Why I can't get a ring? What's wrong with that?
Pink
is there something wrong with that? Why can't a girl open the door for me? When we walk down the street, I'm not gonna walk where the curb is at. If a car come, I want to get saved.
That's very selfish.
Is it selfish if I save y'all from the car?
So what kind of, do you have
What
children?
about me?
What kind of man do you want your daughter to be with? Do you want your daughter to be with a man that's going to
let her walk on the outside?
Exactly. What kind of man?
I'm not saying push.
No. I'm asking you, what kind of man do you want your daughter to be with?
Someone that's real. All
What is
the way
that?
real. I mean,
Real?
just all
We're
the way
all
real.
human.
Like,
We're all real. I don't know what real what that means.
So like a teacher right now.
No, because
let me address this point because we're running out of time. I just want to say that when he says someone real, I understand what he's saying. I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I don't agree with anything he just said, but I ain't trying to go against you. But I'm just saying, right now, he wants somebody to come home for his daughter that's real, someone that's going to be honest with her, someone that's going to tell the truth, someone that's going to express everything.
Respect her, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I do.
And respect.
He's just saying it should be. You're saying it's an equal balance. I mean, it's an equal.
It should be an equal balance.
People, and I agree. I think nowadays, you know, things have become a little bit more equal, but I still think there's the basics and the standards where a male kind of still takes that quote unquote lead. But I just want to say, gender roles go both ways though. And as we're talking about how we want it to stay this way, there's still some things that you guys want to stay, like women cooking and cleaning and things like that. These are gender roles that men still want women to do. So when you talk about that equality, you know, are men rising to that side? And I do know some men that cook a lot, but are men for the most part raising to? Are they going to the other gender role, and can they accept the woman taking their place, quote unquote? For example, a woman working, a woman going out, and then a man staying in the house and he cook and he clean and he watch the kids.
Well, I think that this does happen more often than not, and I think that about it, what it is, it's a give and take, pull and push situation. If the woman has had a crazy day at work and the man's gotten off early, and he goes home and he cooks the meal, like, babe, I know you had a hard day, and vice versa. It happens all the time. It happens more often than not. In the South, when I'm down there, I see it happen a lot. Up in New York, not so much because it's a lot of latchkey homes, but it's a give and take situation. These are one of those situations where if communication is open and we just talk and just don't assume, I want traditional way. This is how it should be. Assume, talk to me and explain why. And if we explain and we talk, then things will open up better, and they'll, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
And I feel you on that, and I think that a lot of men are doing that, like you said. But my problem is I don't see that they're comfortable with it. I see that it's kind of like a we have to do thing. It's like, I gotta take care of the kids if you're at work. Like, the kids can't stay there by themselves. But I see a lot of attitude coming out of it. I see a lot of men that are insecure about it. There's a lot of arguments that go on because it's just not a comfortable state for men.
It's so new. We're still adapting to it. This is something new we need.
Well, do they agree with it? Like, do you guys agree with? Are you comfortable being, like, let's say you had to switch out and a woman had to work and you had to stay at home?
And these are your final thoughts.
I mean,
it's like if the woman has a great job, 6-7 figures, I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. It's like as a man, you gotta. Y'all touched on that before. You gotta allow a man to be a man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Because it's like, it's not gonna be a healthy situation if you don't.
Fellas,
I'm not comfortable with it at all. Like, I mean, I think I'm in a way. The way I feel is that, I mean, before, like, I would allow, like, even my, wife or girlfriend, whatever, to even out earn me. I mean, I would, bust my ass. Just because I don't agree with that. I don't feel in any way comfortable. I feel it's definitely like emasculated.
But you know what though? It's not like my girl. She got 2 master's degrees. She's an educator. You know what I mean? She made considerably more than me, and I'm not. That doesn't bother me at all. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You just got to be comfortable in yourself, and I am. That don't bother me.
Like me, I just feel as if like that's like how you said, you have to let a man be a man. Cause like me personally, I don't think, no matter who it is, my mother,
yeah, I'm still
daughter,
me, regardless.
A friend, like nobody's gonna do for me how I'm gonna do for me. So I just need that to know that I can be able to provide for myself, as well as I want to provide for my family. So like, but I don't think I would mind if a female makes more than me.
I mean, I still do me. I hold myself down, but
but once again, y'all, we running out of time. But this has been another great discussion. This is off topic, but we're never off really. We're so on with this. Just young black people talking about great things that are going on in society, real topics, real problems that we're addressing here. And I think by talking about these problems, it's opening people's eyes and letting them know that these are the issues that are wrong in the black community, that if you talk about them and are proactive about it, it will get better. So if a woman's making more than the man, it's okay. If the man's making more than the woman, it's okay. Just talk about it. The gender roles are going to stay the same, traditional sometimes they have to switch. That's a part about being with somebody. It's a part of being married and whatever relationships take you. This has been Off Topic, where we're so on. Peace.